It's Thursday on YourView. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Mariam Lunge. How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Off for 2 days. We haven't seen you a couple of days.
It's off to a couple. It's Monday.
This is Tuesday and Wednesday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so on Tuesday, I had the honor of being the MC at an event that was hosted by the Office of Climate Change and Circular Economy. So it was an inaugural event. They're about, building, trying to make policies and understand the market for circular economy. Someone yesterday asked me, says, Miriam, please, what's the circular economy? Don't tell me the English. Break it down. Tell me in a way that, I say, you see all this planet thing we're always talking about. Many people are wondering, why should I save the planet? How does it, concern me? So circular economy is a way of making money and also saving the planet. So while we're encouraging you to save the planet, we'll also show you how you can make money from it. So sustainable things. There are so many people there that are already in the sustainable market. Like some people have, there's a particular company that does fashion. So they'll take denim that's already been thrown out and recycle them, make them into new designs.
Oh, wow.
There's a company that does fertilizer from human waste. There's another person that uses e-waste to create lamps, so many things. Wow. So this is an office that's about to blow our minds in Lagos State, and I was really honored to be a part of the event.
I'm very happy.
She's going to be supplying me paper bags for my shop. So instead of using the regular nylon bags, you'll be supplying me just paper.
You're not a supplier.
Like in the circular economy.
Yes. Taking the money.
Yeah.
And I'm a first customer.
Hey.
going.
Oh, but I really like that. But when it comes to talk, like, what is this thing with this thing again?
Blue eyeliner. I did.
She's doing blue. I don't know what's happening.
So your makeup artist in TVC just bought graphic liner.
Wow.
And I am I'm an adventurous person. I'm like the first person they are willing to try it on. So I said,
we have done it before you.
But they just bought a new batch. As they bought it, they now felt like...
Because we have done graphic eyeliner on this table.
I've done white here.
I've done yellow here.
Yes.
I didn't even know it's a thing.
Yeah, we know you are not.
It's the weird... That's even the shocking for like... She did not understand what
the day I did it, she was like, what is this on your ear? Well, is it meant to be there or your eye?
No, 21st century.
Right.
She's representing Mommy Gio's
Please, no, I
disagree with you. 100%.
Maybe Auntie
Stop giving me that
Gio.
Yeah, baby girl Gio.
No,
there's a balance.
none of the above. But how are you doing?
I'm good.
You have quite a bit of rings today also.
Yes, let's leave this one. I'm trying to get my kids off screen time because this entire holiday seemed to be all about the screen.
Yeah.
So they've finished all their homework, which was the prerequisites to get their games. I seized the controller. So now that they have finished their homework and they have controller back, I'm now worried about the fact that since I gave them the controller, the only thing they've been doing is on the PS. That's all they've been doing. So I have to now find another thing. As in this parenting thing, what else can I use to lure them away from it now?
Let them play. I need my peace.
I need to buy that thing at all. My son went to his friend's house on Monday and was going on and on about this PS4. I'm like, yeah, fantastic that you had fun. But in this house, we're not buying it. I refuse.
So I'm the same as we have refused to buy it. You say if you want to buy it, when you earn your money,
you buy by yourself.
Yeah, when you gotta visit your friends, do it.
All these wicked mommies and daddies.
Do it, but when you come here, I beg.
You
know how my own child, I know how he is.
Yeah.
So I dare not encourage it.
Can be too much.
I buy, but I find a way to monitor. So I give them tasks. Once you're done with your tasks, you can play. I understand how it stimulates their mind to play and all of that. So I allow him to have fun and all of that. As long as he has done the task that we have given to you, you can play. And moreover, they are in boarding, so they don't see it except weekends. So they have time to do all of that. But my helps are leaving.
Oh, my Lord.
Two of them held hands and came to my room.
You're kidding me. See your wonderful helps.
I'm telling you,
You've been branding and talking about them.
I'm telling you. Held hands, so I said they were, and they didn't come together. I
said
they were going. So I said, okay, no problem.
What was their issue?
No issue. No, they just want to move on, to start businesses and all of that.
You miss them on your behalf.
Yeah. I'm releasing them tomorrow. I'm sending my blessings with them. I pray for them that they do well. They're young, hardworking. They didn't stress me. They don't steal. They don't lie. I had a very swell time.
Majority of Nigerians are good.
I'm scouting for new ones now. I would have not bothered But because I still have a little girl who comes back home, sometimes if I get home, I still need somebody. If not, we will rugged them. I told my son, clean your room, nobody's cleaning it.
Mine is November. My mind is, I'm already missing her already. November, she told me second week in November. I'm already,
she gave you enough time.
Yeah, so she's already telling me.
Well, she's been with her for years.
She's been along for a long time, but I'm just like, really, I'm already missing her.
You'll be fine.
When they are good like that. When they're not,
you would have chased them yourself.
I'm happy you shared about the good ones because many people find it easier to share about the bad ones.
Yeah, the priest that left, she got married, she had a husband. She's like, okay, so I'm happy that she's doing well, Thank God for that. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, move on to the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation, as usual. Tinubu, we are laying solid foundation for restructuring. Federal government insists rejig of agencies won't lead to job cuts. Nigeria's economy not in a mess, says ex-UK envoy. Makinde moves against rising food prices. Wigwe wife's son for burial March 9th. Fiber cut disrupts telephone services, stalls businesses. President condoles with Akeredolu's family in Owo. President plans executive order to cut prices of drugs. And President leaves for Qatar as Harvard honors Ilumelu Foundation. Okay, and 2 foreigners held for forex manipulation. Okay, which story?
Okay, so 2 Binance executives, an American and a British Pakistani, have been detained on the orders of the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Rubadu, over alleged involvement in foreign exchange manipulation. So they said this duo flew into Nigeria following a government crackdown on cryptocurrency exchange. So the government is planning to ban cryptocurrency trading owing to alleged sharp practices through their website. We have the governor of the CBN claimed that billions of dollars had passed through the channel from unidentified sources. We are concerned that certain practices go on that indicate illicit flows going through a number of these entities and suspicious flows at best. He declared that he tried to explain that what these people do, that sometimes they're able to just sit down wherever they are and determine the exchange rate for our country. And that is very dangerous. And so this is why they were arrested, and this is why, they are investigating this. So it's a big deal for us.
And that's what has driven dollar down.
Yes.
Just
so they're involved in manipulating exchange.
We are number 1 in the world for Binance, Nigeria. And the country is suffering.
Yes. So that's with the people again.
Somebody is just exploiting.
Okay. Yes. So let me take the major headlines. So our president yesterday has said that he's not going to rush restructuring. Remember, this restructuring was very prevalent a few years ago. So he said that his administration would lay a solid foundation before restructuring the country to foster proper federalism. According to him, that they have to lay that foundation. It would actually help successful economic and fiscal reforms capable of supporting a restructured country. The president said this yesterday. He said we will not rush the process, stressed that the restructuring would also address concerns for equity and justice. He also he said that they've already agreed on setting up of the state police, and the modalities are to be worked out by the governors and the federal government. The president emphasized that if a proper foundation to support restructuring is not laid, it will eventually collapse. So President spoke yesterday when he was in Ondo to visit the family, to commiserate with the family of the late former governor of Ondo State, Akeredolu, with his family. He was there with Governor Oluwatimi Akeredolu yesterday in Owo, and they were saying that he definitely agrees that restructuring is crucial, but there must be a foundation to drive that so it doesn't collapse eventually.
Yeah, so the Minister of Information was speaking at the 4th edition of the Ministerial Press Briefing Series in Abuja yesterday. That's the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris. And he said, talking about the adoption of the Oraseye report, and he said that the whole idea is that the government wants to reduce costs and also improve efficiency in service delivery. It does not mean that the government is out to retrench workers or throw people into the labor market. And we know how the government had announced that the adopting the Oraseye report will lead to a reduction and measures of the MDAs, that's ministries, departments, and agencies, from 263 to 161. And so he says that the implementation of the report has been on the shelf for over 11 years now. And this is just a clear demonstration that the president is unwavered in his commitment to fiscal prudence and responsible government or governance by championing comprehensive review of the government's commissions, agencies, and parastatals. And that is just what it is. It's not because they want to push out citizens to go and start looking for jobs. And it also says that they are putting the needs of the citizens first. It's going to be adequately addressed, and they will put the interests of the nation first and foremost. Then they went ahead to list some of the benefits of the reforms that the president had carried out so far in his policies. They said that Nigeria is beginning to see benefits of the reforms spearheaded by the president in various sectors. And the report from the National Bureau of Statistics, that's the NBS, has said that Nigeria witnessed a GDP growth of 3.46% in the fourth quarter of 2023 against the 2.54% recorded in the third quarter of 2022. And he stated that the capital importation rose to 66% in the fourth quarter of 2023, reversing a 36% decline in the third quarter, and that petrol importation has been reduced by 50%, among other things that they have said. So that we just need to be a bit more patient and see how some of these policies will translate to the lives of the citizens.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have the story concerning how your state governor is going to deal with the rising food prices. One of the things they want to do is to reduce, they've said that they are going to reduce the cost of clearing the land, that instead of spending about 30,000 naira to clear a size of land, they'll be subsidized by 50% to 15,000 naira for clearing. They also mentioned that they were going to buy tractors. They are going to stop usually there's revenue that they pay on farm produce. Any farm produce consumed within Oyo State, there will be no charges, no revenue collection on those within immediate effect. And they're expecting, but if the food within Oyo is moving out of Oyo State, then the revenues that should be paid will still be paid at the boundaries once it's going out. But for within the state, it's not going to happen. Then a 1 billion naira fund, which is for small action for economic recovery, SAFER, the 1 billion naira fund will be available to smallholder farmers. This is the only part of this entire intervention that I'm not a fan of. This meeting was yesterday with Agribusiness Industrial Hub, the Fasola Agribusiness Industrial Hub, and it was breaking down all the things they want to do. One of the things, I know there's another state, Niger State, too, bought a lot of tractors that they've deployed, about 200. They are going to even bring in more. These tractors are very, very needed. If every local government has tractors, farmers are able to go there rather than paying private individuals. The government would reduce the funds through those things rather than giving cash. When you give cash, people will buy food.
So in addition, they had also said that you would not require a guarantor to get a loan. This is also, but the governor also made, for me, I feel that it's important that we hear this, and concerning everything in Nigeria as well. He says that despite all the efforts that they've made, towards fostering and bolstering food security, somehow it is not translating into favorable trends in food pricing, and this is something that is concerning. And you know, we see that a lot where policies are made with good intentions, sit through
like our hot topic yesterday,
stakeholders, and yet it's not translating what is happening.
Culture.
Yeah.
Let's go on a short break now. We'll come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome Pioneer Positive Force member, dancing queen of the 80s, non-conformist, Afrobeat historian in her right, and long-standing member of the multiple award-winning all-female show Your View, Omoyeni Yeni Anikulapo Kuti, aka YK Power! Ginger,
take it.
Today we'll go here.
Hey, I don't read you.
Are you sure?
I'm not here to answer questions. I'm here to drink.
We're in trouble today.
Wait till your age.
I was close now.
I
said 1975.
He said 73. He said 75. Fellas wasn't even born till 75.
So will I drink half?
You go drink. Take. Make I help you. Russian.
No be half.
Which half? You will make me drink. I'll give you a hint.
Lights in no. Nepa Road. Nepa Road in Abeokuta.
First of all, my brain cannot memorize everything.
A big black bug.
A big black dog.
Bug. A big black bug.
Oh, sorry. A big.
It don't start.
Ọmọ fẹlá. Ọmọ Anikulapo Kuti. Wọ́n rò pé kí ni kékeré yìí.
It's by Audison. It's not by Audison.
So still reviewing the papers, so we're moving on now to the Punch. SIM and NIN linkage. NCC rules out extension, telcos bar 12 million lines. I take full responsibility. Nigeria will recover, says Tinubu. Subsidy removal of petrol imports crashes by 990 million litres monthly. Gridlock looms as president visits Lagos. Oshoba envoy others comment Punch at photo exhibition. Makinde suspends revenue collection on farm produce. And AFG to crash drug prices, get $1 billion from Afrexim Bank. Okay. Which story are we starting with?
Yes, I could start with a story about the Nigerian economy. So the Nigerian economy, according to the British Council Director in Abuja, David Roberts, said that the Nigerian economy is not in a mess. And according to him, he said a country with a GDP growth of 3.46% cannot be in crisis, considering that Europe is at the edge of a recession as well. So he was saying that the president's administration and their policies, all they need to do is just to sustain the policies, which includes the removal of petrol subsidy, and that the future looked bright for the country. He said in a statement, and I'd like to quote, he said, "I lived and worked in Nigeria for many years as a British diplomat, and one of the issues that most disturbed me was the sustenance of the fuel subsidy regime. Why would a country with severe infrastructural deficits invest more on wasteful expenditure, such as cheap petrol, instead of building schools, hospitals, dams, and a national railway system? It is evident that that had to go." So he said, "We joined the World Bank, International Monetary Fund in saying much to the Nigerian government, and finally it's gone. And everything we said would happen after it goes is happening. Nigeria's GDP is growing at 3.46%, while Europe is on the edge of recession." And he also says the stock market just crossed 100,000 basis points, overtaking Argentina as the world's most profitable stock market, and capital importation is up by 66%. But that's not the best story. So he went ahead to say the cherry on the cake is that fuel importation into Nigeria is now down by 50%, and this means that Nigeria's much depleted federation account will rapidly resuscitate, and more funds will now trickle into the federating states from the federal government if well utilized. So he went ahead to advise that the only thing he sees now is that government needs to find a way to block corruption, so that all of these policies will see them trickle
Which adds to what the president was saying, that after I've laid the foundation, these are foundational things. After that, if they now restructure, now it's not left for you and your region to
manage your
manage those resources.
This is like correcting the previous errors.
Okay, let's go to the gridlock. So our president is in town. Gridlock is building up in major parts of Lagos as president visits the state today to commission the red line. We mentioned that yesterday. According to communities who have avoided taking that 3rd mainland bridge, remember everybody is now taking Ikorodu Road, right? It has now compounded it because he's there around. So according to a statement by the Federal Controller of Works Lagos State, Olukorede Kesha, on Monday, he says that they commended at noon on Wednesday, that's the closure of the bridge up until Thursday by noon. Says the Federal Ministry of Works wishes to inform the motoring public that in continuation of the ongoing rehabilitation of the 3rd mainland bridge is be closed in those times, and that the Lagos is also waiting for the president's arrival. So we're just advising motorists to just either stay put where you are, you can move your meetings to Friday because the president is around. The convoy is going to compound things with the closure of 3rd mainland bridge. So enough is a word. Enough for the wise. I feel bad for you because you have to go to the island. But you'll be all right. One day you get home, one day. One day.
So the major headline, the SIM and NIN linkage, it's been a challenge for many Nigerians struggling to link their SIMs and those that are asking to be revalidated. But the NCC is saying that there will be no extensions, that telcos should bar the 12 million lines that have not been linked. So the first part of it is if you haven't linked your line at all, your line will be barred as of today. It was already done yesterday. Then there's another batch of people. These are people that have linked their NIN but is seeking revalidation.
Yeah.
So those that have not been revalidated have up until March 29 to be able to revalidate their line, or they would also be barred. Even though there's a court order in the Federal High Court in Lagos that has placed a restraint on telecom operators to not bar the line. Somebody took it up and the judge actually said that there should be stay on barring the lines. The NTC said this is a matter of national security and everybody must link their lines. But I know from personal feedback, and also the Punch carried stories of how people are struggling to get their lines, their NIN revalidated. It's costing people money. Those that already have NIN numbers, it's costing them money to get their numbers NIN number revalidated, and then it's also costing money to have it linked, which you shouldn't have if you really want something to. It wasn't costing before, so apparently they say it's costing. Subscribers are saying that the poor well, I don't want to mention a brand, but they mentioned the brand that like 2 brands were taken to court that people have tried over and over again, and Punch verified that they were not connecting and they had poor network and it's not allowing them to.
It's a matter of national security. Also, we're trying to fight all these
kidnapping.
So these guys cannot be delaying a nation trying to link things so we can follow the money. So everything is interrelated. So I can't say because I want to pay extra 10,000 naira, we now disrupt the whole national movement. I beg. Daily Sun. BVN NIN bank set to freeze accounts. 9 policemen killed trying to rescue kidnapped victims in Delta. Tinubu to sign executive order against rising cost of drugs, and says minister. Divestment, NNPCL warns investors against idle assets, quick money. Peter will be happy with approval of Oronsaye report. Strike. No more late night meetings with the federal government, says NLC. 8 died, 10 injured in Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, Osun crashes. Okay, which story?
Yes, I have Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has openly declared his support for the implementation of the Oronsaye report. He said this on his handle, that's X handle, and he also said that he got many messages from people. They wanted to know how he felt about the implementation of the report, and he said actually this would have, he said he is in support. He also added that its implementation was part of his campaign manifesto, and he said something which I think is important. Opposition does not warrant blind and thoughtless criticisms, noting that whenever the government makes the right decisions, related or even better ideas on how to move the nation forward should be proposed. He also said that the president's directive for full implementation of this report is significant will result in a significant restructuring of government agencies. And then he said that the government, in spite of doing what is right, also need to understand that there is sort of like a fallout, that it may affect some people. The implications of it could be downsizing on workers, and those are the things that government needs to also be clear on. So in summary, he agrees with it, and he says that opposition does not mean I should just
be opposing
and anyhow, my criticism.
Or anything.
That's good.
Yeah,
I want this, following up to the NIN story, there's a BVN side of the story, which is the major headline in Daily Sun. And the BVN part of the story is saying that any account that does not have BVN or NIN linked to the account, those accounts will be, they'll put a post-no debit. So that means the account is invalid. You cannot do any transfer from that account from the 1st of March, which is tomorrow. From the 1st of March. So there are some, I don't know how people open the account, maybe they open old accounts, but I know in recent times, you can't even open the account without having BVN or NIN. Now there is either at least you have to put one in. So the conversation now is everybody gets a way to ensure that your BVN or NIN is linked to your account, especially for Nigerians in diaspora, and I know many of them watch the show, so that they can do it. If not, they will be unable to make any transfer from their account. Any accounts and any wallets, you won't be able to transfer from that account. There'll be post-no debit or credit on the account.
When my family came from the US, that was all the instructions. NIN, BVN, NIN. I'm like, come on, man.
No, but they had to now.
They had to. So,
yes.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, headsmen shot 9 suspected headsmen. Shot 9 policemen and injured many others in an ambush in Ughelli, Delta State. They said about 10 others are still missing. So the policemen attached to the Force Intelligence Response Team, the IRT, were deployed into a forest to rescue 4 kidnapped victims when they were ambushed by killer headsmen who were in their large numbers. And according to a police source in Delta State Police Command, he said the deceased officers and several others were deployed into a forest at Betsinga, Duplessis community in Ughelli. That happened on Monday. They said they ran into an ambush by headsmen. There were more than 9 that went for that rescue operation, but only 9 bodies have been recovered so far. And according to one of the officers who they said ran out with a bullet wound, he said the headsmen were so many and heavily armed. They shot and killed many of them, and they are praying for the safe return of others. Another senior police officer who spoke, condition of anonymity, said that they are suspecting sabotage. He said that their men were tracked. The policemen had tracked the kidnappers, and they knew where they were because they were going to rescue the victims, only to run into an ambush, and it seemed like those people knew that they were coming and prepared for them. So they've recovered just 9 bodies and other 10 people are missing. So they said they are planning a rescue mission, but they are going to be very careful because those headsmen are heavily armed and there are a lot of them.
Okay, so the Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, has said that the president will soon issue an executive order to curb escalating drug prices. He explained that it will be a short-term measure, while the mid to long-term goal would be to the domestication of imported drugs within the next 3 years. Specifically, he said that the federal government has initiated construction of pharmaceutical-grade warehouses in 21 states in collaboration with the drug management agencies, DMAs, in a strategic move to fortify pharmaceutical infrastructure across the nation. He also said that he wanted to debunk the media reports that Nigeria was facing a manpower shortage in the healthcare system, insisting that the country has enough manpower for its healthcare services despite the growing number of doctors and other healthcare professionals who are leaving the country for a foreign practice. So that's an interesting angle. Okay, moving on now to Vanguard. You might not be able to discuss it, but let's Samasaye report FG Labour disagree on job losses. Tinubu to Nigerians, I won't rush to restructure. Mambila, I have no regrets paying Agunoye's medical travel bills. Investors lose 1.5 trillion naira in stocks over new monetary policy. We called off strike over threat of intimidation, says Ajero. Wigwe family fixes dates for burial rights. I was going to take us to one of the parts of the president's visit to Governor Akeredolu. Interestingly, when he was visiting him, he did something quite symbolic. He took his certificate of return to Pa Fashion Royalty. I thought that was interesting. He showed the Afenifere leader his certificate of return given to him by INEC after he won the February 25th, the last 2023 elections. Power Fashion Notice address read by Oba Olufalaye said that he hailed President Tinubu's courage and sagacity, which made him implement the Onosai report as the basis for reforming the public. So I was like, okay, I have come. Here is my certificate.
We've not seen since.
Not seen it since that time. Interesting. Okay, let's go. I think that's all we can take from the story.
Yes, the CBN Governor Yemi Cardoso had given a new policy. The MPR rate had increased to 27%. And that has impacted 22.75% from 18%, and that made the investors in Nigeria Stock Exchange to lose 1.5 trillion naira in stock just over that policy effect. I know they have their reasons, but I'm sure the stock market people are not happy about it because it doesn't look good for them.
All right, so that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, move on to our next sponsored segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Let's give it up for Giga Babata! At 358 pounds! Let's give it up for Destroyer!
What is your fear? Beneath the appearance of incredible infrastructure, standard facilities, and beautiful amenities, our estates at Adron Homes come affordable with great discounts and flexible payment plans. No stress, no hassles. Beat your fears and take that bold step today. Subscribe to own your property. Adron Homes.
Building cities, communities, and homes.
Perfect start for Newcastle United.
Thanks for staying with us. Joining us on the show is the Director General Financial Inclusion Centers, that's FIC, Mr. Shola Bickersteth. He will be speaking about agent banking certification and its benefits. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning.
Good to have you on the show. So tell us about
Thank you for having me.
this POS agent certification program. Why do POS agents need to be certified?
Let me start by talking about what the president has been saying for quite a while, which is to restructure the economy.
Go ahead. We're hearing you. Go ahead, please. We can hear you.
Okay. There's mention about introduction of credit system into Nigeria. And what it means is that expectedly a lot of small businesses will be able to access finance much more easily than it has been done before. Now, today, we have about 1.7 million POS agents all over Nigeria. But you cannot walk up to any one of them and say, well, how can I get 10 million naira credit for my small business? Let's assume I'm a yam seller or I'm a truck pusher. So for the credit system to come into being, we need people all over the country, especially in rural areas. You can call them money advisors, you can call them financial inclusion experts, but there will be people who will now build a career in helping local people in rural communities, even in urban areas, to be able to gain access to credit. We're starting with POS agents because they're already on ground. And it's now an opportunity for existing POS agents to upgrade themselves and develop a career into what you will call a certified agent banker. It's similar to ICANN. There are lots of accountants, but if you are ICANN certified, you are able to handle more complex transactions. Another way to look at it is the drug industry. So there are chemists all over the place, but we all know that there's a difference between a chemist and a pharmacist. So you go to the chemist to get basic drugs, but when your situation is more complex, then you need a pharmacy. So the agency banking certification is an opportunity for existing POS agents to upgrade themselves and build a career in agency banking to take advantage of what the present government is trying to do to restructure the economy.
All right. Yeah, so you said that they are going to be trained on many aspects of banking agency. That's the POS operators now. Can you elaborate on why they need this training in the first place and some of the trainings they will be getting?
Okay, that's a good question. Now, a lot of fraud is happening at POS agents today. And most of the reason is because a lot of POS agents are just using this as an opportunity to put food on the table. They're not well trained, but even much more importantly, they're not certified. So they're not trained to identify fraud if it's about to happen. They're not equipped to be able to report fraudulent transactions even as they happen. So that's an example. So moving forward, when you become a certified agent, you are better equipped to handle, situations like that, as an example. Another example would be today, if you want to get your ATM card, which all of us need, you have to go to a banking hall. But when you become a certified agent, then you can qualify to a point where people can come to your location and say, oh, my ATM card has expired, I want to renew it. And you're competent enough, or you have been trained on how to handle such transactions by organizations like NIBS, the Central Switch. so that people don't need to go to a banking hall to renew their ATM card moving forward when we now start having certified agents in the system. So those are the kind of trainings that will be taking place.
Okay.
So I'd like you to tell us how critical or important are the POS operators to helping government achieve the goal of financial inclusion, especially within the rural areas of the country.
That's obvious. POS has been the biggest employer of labor in Nigeria in the past 10 years. There are 1.7 million of them all over the place. So that's already contributing to employment generation in the first place. And of course, the economy at large. So it has become the largest means at which people access their money. Most of us now, when we go to markets, we know that there's always a POS agent around where we can cash money and do our business. So there's no doubt about the importance. But now, we're now upgrading it where POS agents, not all of them for your information, maybe out of the 1.7 million that are in the system today, about 210,000 will qualify to become certified agent bankers. And they can help market women, small businesses, access loans, access credit, access palliatives that the government has been announcing. So they are the last mile, the hope of the masses, if you like, for all these things that government has been announcing on TV to now happen in reality.
Okay, sir. As you said, these POS operators, there's so many, there are millions, and they're across the country. How do you plan on achieving this certification of the POS operators?
Oh, well, thank God for technology. The first step is to register. We commenced registration in December. And we're going to end registration in March. So that those POS agents that are interested, and mind you, it's not only POS agents that can apply, really. Anyone that has a school cert and thinks that building a career in what you can call a money advisor can also apply. So the first step is to go to the website, which is myabc.ng, to apply for the certification, which is the foundation level. And then after the application, you will now be issued the training materials. But once again, thank God for technology. The training is going to be done online. So even while you are doing your work, you just need to log in with your phone and watch, the various lectures that are being given, read your materials online. So there will be portals that will be available for people to just take their lectures online. For those of them that need physical intervention for one reason or the other, there will be test centers, the ones that are presently being used for JAM testing, where these people can go to and they can do their e-learning in preparation for the first exam, which will happen in April. But it's a continuous exercise. After April, another set will happen in July.
Let me ask this final question. There's a POS agent watching now and is wondering, what's in this for me? What's the benefit for me as a person? In what way are you incentivizing people to actually take this training and get certified?
It's self-explanatory. If I become a money advisor, which is the ultimate aim, I qualify to be a certified money advisor, and I'm able to help people around me to access 10 million, 20 million naira loans, I'm going to get paid. So I am moving from earning 100 naira, 200 naira per helping people to withdraw cash from my POS, now to being paid 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 20,000, 50,000 for providing professional services to my local community. So it's moving to the next level, more or less. It's multiplying your income almost 10 times. Okay. But even more importantly, you're now building a career, a long-term career that you can be proud of. All right. I joke sometimes that if you become a certified agent, you can easily become the most important person in your community.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Bickersteth, for joining us this morning. We appreciate you and what you're doing. Thank you so much. That's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, we want to our Justin segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
The passion, the tension, the near miss.
So,
That is this on the all-new Showmax app for just 2,900 Naira only. People, download the new Showmax app now.
There's a drop of goodness in everyone. Share goodness with someone today. Malta Guinness.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the part of the show where I really have a lot of fun. Why? I'm highly competitive. I'm not going to ask you regular questions with me. I'm not well. So you're going to be as nuts as I am today, yes?
Ready.
Alrighty. Sorry. Can you put it down here, please? King Dion versus Tony. Oh, thank you. See all the Lee Kuku things you do. They make me no. Who said this?
I want to every day closer. Girl, I want to make you closer.
Okay.
Oxalating closer.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much fun have you had on the show?
11, 10.
11?
10, yes.
11? Now we're going to terminate the show. Please, my producer, this is where we're cutting it. Cameraman, cut it. You don't cut. Okay, I'm just kidding.
The hottest music videos.
Check it out. Let's go.
Topping the charts. Right here on the Max World Chart Show.
So, have you ever wondered?
The time has come to experience the power of faith, music, and praise. This is the Max Urban Gospel Chart Show. Every Sunday from 10 a.m. tune in to catch the pulse-pounding beat and soul-stirring melodies that will elevate your faith and leave a lasting impact on your heart. The Max Urban Gospel Chart Show. Every Sunday from 10 a.m. exclusively on Max FM, where we count down the best 20 urban gospel hits from around the world. Get your praise on. Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
Thanks for staying with us. So a father made a distress video and it went viral, asking for advice from people on what to do about his daughter being asked out by a Yahoo boy in the video. He was seen really bothered and mentioned that he would not have thought for a second that this would happen to him. What are your thoughts on this? Because it's interesting because we can expand this on different levels. Yes, we identify one person as Yahoo boy. Another person can identify you as a government contractor that you know that steals. You have another one who is obviously a thief. He steals from banks. You know, he gets a certain kind of cut where he does deals. Even is a businessman. He's a businessman. You find out the business is cutting deals. He's not really having a proper job. So this guy is a Yahoo boy, but there are other parts of people, other jobs people do that we know is illegal. And then they come for you and you say your daughter is happy, your husband is happy, your son is happy, and you're being put under pressure to accept the love because she loves him. What are your thoughts on this? We'd like to show the video just to have an idea of what we're talking about.
I can never be stopped from being amused. Imagine a Yahoo boy is chasing my daughter. Think about it. A Yahoo boy chasing my daughter. I didn't think this could happen to me, but it has become reality. You know, initially, I didn't suspect. Before I come from outside and beside my dinner, I would just see some fast food, some chicken, some chips, and other kind of food in my house, carelessly placed. I'll just come, I call my wife, say, darling, oh, you brought this food again? I start eating. I didn't know that it was Yahoo boy that was setting me up, chasing my daughter, using all these things to blindfold me. I don't know what to say. This matter is so serious that I got so angry. My daughter came to meet me. He said, Daddy, don't worry. He's the boy that I love. I said, but this boy is a Yahoo boy. What can I do? And I'm throwing this open to the public. What do you think I should do? If you were the one, will you allow a Yahoo boy to ask your daughter's hand in marriage? I just want to know. I want to hear people's advice because
it's very layered. The more I see the video, there's just so many angles to this because this is a man also that noticed that this boy is a Yahoo boy. He's never for once reported him to the police. We don't, even as a society, we've never said, this guy deals, this Larry boy does. let me report him to the police or let me whistleblow on. No, we don't do that in Nigeria. We just accept, okay, that is a Yahoo boy. He's a thief. He's with all these different names, and we accept it for them. But this man now, it has come home to roost because now his daughter is in love with this Yahoo boy. What are your thoughts? We have with us Larry Olushola in the building. The catalyst himself. You know, we love to have you on times like this.
Thank you.
Because we always wonder, you know, what are people thinking? No, you people know how to enter people's minds. What is going on in our society? So we'll take it in layer by layer. Let's start on the face value of the video. What are your thoughts on the value? Let me start with you, Larry. I'll come to the ladies. What are your thoughts?
All right. So, you know, he asked me a direct question. Yes. Will I allow my daughter to marry Yahoo boy? The answer is no.
Okay.
And it's because of my own core values. I stand for integrity. And I teach my daughters the same. So my daughter will not even come and meet me and tell me that Dada, which is what my daughters call me, I'm in love with this guy. You know, a Yahoo boy that chases her, she's not even going to, you know, give him any space. Why? Because she knows me, she knows my wife, she knows our family. She knows what we stand for. She knows that, you know what, you know, she's playing some games that she's going to have to be on her own. So she would not even broach that idea. She would not even come to us with it. And so this is telling us that, you know, is reflecting the moral of our society. You know, and it's not just about Yahoo. It's the fact that where we used to be, we're no longer there. The society, the moral of society is finally broken down. The fact that a father has to come, you know, online to make a clarion call. Mariah, do they burn you?
As in, that was...
Do they burn you to go and meet your father and say, Daddy...
You dare not.
Do they even burn the guy that's chasing you to send chicken and chips to your father? As in, when our fathers come home, you hear the horn.
Yeah.
You arrange yourself.
Arrange yourself.
Everybody, my journey.
Okay, let me come to the ladies.
Yeah. So, when I saw that first video, the first question that came to my mind is, Papa, you shop chicken or you not shop chicken? You enter a house, you see chicken. You did not ask the source of that chicken. You ate it. We live our lives and we think our children do not see where our values lie. It's when they start acting out tomorrow, you be, who did I offend? What did I do? They picked it up from you. They have seen everything around you. They've absorbed it into... I will leave all the subconscious things for our catalyst today, but they've absorbed it and now they are acting based on the precedents that they have seen. Probably you've had some shady deals around they knew. You were not truthful. A few times you tell them to go and lie that you are not at home. When you're at home, they know. So they know that some of these things can fly around you. And so they allow it. And they now bring, the most painful part is that you eat chicken, you did not investigate where chicken came from. So I usually use myself as an example. I grew up in a house where you say anomonile. And that means that sometimes there's money and sometimes there's no money. And because there's no form of savings, when there's no money, right? But I noticed something about my father. When he gets home and he sees food he did not provide for, he doesn't allow his wife to work because he's capable of taking care of them. But sometimes when that brokenness comes, it affects everybody. And he gets home, he sees food that he cannot say where the food, he will not eat that food though, everybody. In fact, he used that to discover that some of his wives were actually saving money when that was, that was the only thing that now, okay, you say, so you've been lying to me, you've been hiding money with it. But then he knows the source of the food. When I was in the university, if I come home with a pair of jeans he did not buy for me, he was shopping for me till I graduated. So my undies, he knew everything I had. So if I come home with a pair of jeans my father did not buy, I will confess where I got that jean from. That jean will not enter his house. So I knew what I would not take close to him. How have you lived your life that this girl can bring this person close and be telling you, Daddy, forget I'm in love?
Well, let me take it from the... Let's first laugh. There was any chicken anyhow. Or the careless chicken.
I love Nigeria.
As in, when you start eating careless chicken, they will bring Yahoo boy to your house. That's it.
Careless boys.
Because Yoruba proverb says, what you will not eat, you will not smell it. So right from the eating careless chicken that you have no idea of, you already show that. Then even doing the video shows that you're not. That's why I said let's first laugh, because obviously this man is someone that loves to. He's a Nigerian. You know the Nigerians that go to church. Nigerians that go to church, and if somebody dashes them money or they find money on the road, they'll say God answered their prayers. They will not go and refund it. You know that kind of Nigerian. The Nigerian that will be praying to God that God let this deal go through so that I will get my kickback. It is a Nigerian that will carry his laptop to church so that when he types his internet fraudster system, it will work. So there's a Nigerian kind of Christianity and religious part that understands the, you know, this thing is good, but it's not really, but people, I've been eating chicken carelessly, but can you advise me or what, guy? You know what you want? You want to chop Yahoo money. You just want somebody to...
But you don't want to associate.
Yes, you want someone to corroborate it so that you have a sense of validation to go and do what you really want to do. Because if you don't want it, you don't do a video. If you don't want it, you will not near it because this is not me. But for you to do the video, you actually a part of you wants it and you want someone to validate it for you.
So for me, you have all, you know, what I wanted to say. Everyone has sort of, you know, said a bit. But then there's one more thing I think we should add, which is, as we say, as a society, the moral fabric of our society is completely lost. You know, the man was saying, I spoke to my family. I wanted to hear what his family said. So let's just say we're talking to someone who's a bit decent, but wants the advice. Let's just assume and wants the advice of people. And the reason why he can come out to ask us, because now I've realized that family, society also don't tell you the truth.
Yep.
There's no truth in going to elders anymore, in going to these institutions. They will tell you, why are you angry? He's working now. That's how they describe some of these Yahoo boys. He's working, at least he's bringing something home. So you're here thinking, okay, I know what God said, or I know what the right thing is, but everybody says this is how it's done now. So I'm the only one in the wilderness screaming my head off. Nobody, you know. So is something wrong with me? Many people are finding themselves questioning whether their morals or their ethics means anything or if it's important anymore. Because there's no one around us that's helping to, you know, validate it or to hold it. You find yourself to be the only ones. But you know how they say, majority carries the vote. Then it was believed that a majority of people have more common sense, or a majority of people will go the right way. But now the majority of people will go the wrong way. And you find yourself the only truth speaker, and you'll be punished for it. So it's likely that he lives in an area where people think this is okay. And he said, you know, within me, I don't think this is okay, but what do you think? Like we see, like in Black American stories where they talk about people that grew up in the ghetto and they're selling drugs and things like that. You find a particular family or parent or person trying to come out of that. Anything they do right within that community is seen as wrong because you're not doing the drugs, you're not dealing, you're not doing, you know, living the promiscuous life. And in that place, you know, you don't make sense. It will take you coming out of that place, having the sense that something must be wrong with where I am, where I have grown, the sort of people that have raised me, to ask someone outside your community to help you. What I'm hearing around me, is it right? Or do you think that I am right? And I think that could also be the issue.
Thank you, ladies, for these initial conversations. But there's another part I would like us to go into, Larry. Is the part of young people, our minds, the kind of things that attract us these days, the pressure out there. I mean, back then, a young girl would not see herself dating a Yahoo. I mean, a well-brought-up person with a father like this. You assume that she would know better. Just like you said, your daughter knows you. My kids know me. That would never be acceptable. Kids these days are very brazen. They have different definitions for things. So to us, it's Yahoo. To her, he's hustling. He's making it happen. He's doing what he must do to survive. You know, we all just have to do what we have to do. You know, he has outsmarted everybody there. So he's entitled to the success of what he's doing. So how do we begin to re-engineer the minds of young people today and what attracts them and what shouldn't attract them?
You know, I think we can't even blame these children because they are an expression of us. So when your child behaves, it's a mirror reflection of you. When your child misbehaves, it's a mirror reflection of you. So, one of the things that I do is I watch my children so that I can see myself and I can make adjustments. So what these children are telling us is that we have failed them. Let's look at the Sorosoke generation. We were muffled. We couldn't talk to our parents. So we went the opposite and allowed them to Sorosoke without control. So we overcompensated without really sitting them down for them to realize that you can speak up, but with respect. So this is also happening now. Fraud in Nigeria, 419 in Nigeria, corruption in Nigeria, impunity in Nigeria. In those days, there are consequences to behaviors like this. Across board, they will expel you in school. There are some schools that if, your family is known for XYZ, you can't get into those schools. But now, if you have the cash, you will get into any school. There are some landlords that will not take you as a tenant if you don't have a sterling record. But today, if you look around Lekki and the environment,
they are the biggest cash cows.
Even though I hear that if they live in your house, what you are going to spend to renovate that house is so much. So landlords are now collecting deposits for the renovation before they move in, for when they move out. Now, let's now even break this thing down. There's Yahoo Yahoo. There's Yahoo Yahoo Plus.
Please.
Hey, we know.
Right? So Yahoo Yahoo is, the guy that is hardworking, that, finds a mugu or, grooms and nurtures a mugu online and hits that mugu. Right? So there are two dimensions to it. The person that he hits is greedy. The person that is hitting, the victim is also greedy. That's one dimension. Now, then there's the Yahoo Yahoo Plus.
What's that?
These ones,
spiritual dimension.
They've entered the spiritual dimension. They do rituals.
Fetish.
They are fetish. They go all the way. All the way.
You say that they do like rituals to get money.
Yes.
Some people don't believe that those things exist.
And they don't believe, but there's a reality. There's a reality of what is on ground. Now, we don't know whether this Yahoo Yahoo boy is a Yahoo Yahoo or Yahoo Yahoo Plus.
And that is supporting it with the spiritual.
So another thing that we've got to realize is that when this boy comes into your family, he has become your son. So you have to think about it. What kind of son are you bringing into your family? Because he now begins to adulterate your family name. There's many layers
Let me
that we need to look at.
Let me go on a short break because we've addressed the video, but now we have to go deeper into Yahoo Yahoo as a job, as a career, source of income, and even young people getting involved in this, and even relationships being built around it. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
This week on Reality Check, we stay close to the Big Brother Mzansi house and housemates.
This week, the process will run differently. You will be nominating face to face.
Okay, the first person I'm nominating is Yolanda. because she's too loud and inconsiderate of people's spaces.
The first one I nominate is Meg Jr. simply because it didn't save me last week.
So I nominate Young Papi and Makeke. Young Papi because he went behind my back to speak to Newa and disregard my name constantly to her.
Big brother, I will nominate Jared and Els. The reason for that is because they have never been nominated.
Second housemate that I would like to nominate is Mitch, because he called me kiss because I'm not a two-faced like he is.
As well as Love is Blind Season 6.
Let's go!
I feel optimistic that my person is here.
I don't really give the nice guy a try, but I really...
Thanks for staying with us. So now we're talking about the effects of Yahoo on families, relationships, and even a society at large. We still have with us the catalyst in the building, Mr. Larry Olushola. Larry, before the break, we're discussing this issue of Yahoo Plus. I know you wanted to stop.
Yes. You said something that I felt, we just let it go like that, because we've had children that are born from that are from good homes, that they got all the right values. You see maybe a parent of 5 children, 4 of them straight and narrow, and then you have one black sheep. Yeah. When you say, the children are our report card, sometimes we put so much, and I believe in the power of parenting, but we put so much burden on parents for how the children turn out. You can put everything in and the child decides to do themselves. And there should be room for the fact that I'm a good, upstanding person, but my son decided to say, it's Yahoo that he wants to do. What do I do?
I mean, you're right. If I look at myself, I'm that child that you're describing. But when I was really young, my mom used to take me to church every day. All Saints Church, Yaba. When I was a little kid. Look at me today. I was a terrible boy in secondary school. I was a bad boy. But, it says, train a child in the way that the child should go. And when the child departs, later on, come back to it. You can have your friends influence you. You can have society influence you. My own case was, I was always a mommy's boy, homeboy. Then they released me into town. I started to experience the thing that I'd never experienced before. I entered town. But invariably, I kept on hearing, if you do drugs, you will go mad.
Your mother's voice.
My mother's voice. So when my guys, when they are, trying out and experimenting in secondary school, I'll just be looking. We will learn.
Loading.
Laughing, shere, and I never tried it.
Wow.
And so that's a reflection, right? Also, my mother worked hard. For everything she had. And I work hard for everything that I have.
You saw that.
So we're mops. Subliminally, we're picking up stuff. And that's what she said, that your children are watching. They learn more by observation than what you say. That which you don't want in them, don't do it.
Do it.
So I say to parents, the way, you want your children to behave. So what do you want them to do? What don't you want them to do? Begin to do it and stop doing the things you don't want them to do.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah.
I think, in fact, we need to really drink tea to that. because we hear that all the time, but we don't do it. But sometimes when it's reinforced like this, a lot of us, what we are complaining about our kids is a total, complete reflection of us.
Yeah.
So change your behavior and your kids will change.
Yeah.
I mean, look at a classic, right? When we look at exam malpractice today in schools, who is sponsoring it? Parents.
The parents.
Parents are the ones sponsoring it. But who gets punished if they are caught? The child. Who is paying for it? Yes, we know that there are some children whose eyes are open, not their parents, but a lot of parents.
Special centers.
Yes. If your child goes to a boarding school and the teacher punishes your child and, disciplines your child, you know what happens? When that child goes back home to report, the parents come with a heavy hammer. That teacher must go. Because that parent is influential. That parent is probably donating money to the fund in the school. You remove the teacher. In our own days, if your teacher reports that they disciplined you at home, you will chop cane again
On
at
top,
home.
where do you now draw the line between defending your child? Because there are some misbehaviors by teachers and even guardians. And people expect you as a parent to stand up for your child. So there's always that thing of, okay, I don't want to look as if I am overbearing, but I also need to protect my child when I see things are wrong, especially as a Gen Z mother or as a millennial mother.
I'll give you a classic example. So my first daughter, when she first relocated to the UK to school, they said she had a bad attitude. So the teachers complained that she has a bad attitude.
Wow.
My daughter, bad attitude. What have you done? I asked her. She doesn't know. What does bad attitude mean? So I flew to the UK and I had a meeting with her housemaster, her school headmistress, the teachers that complained. I said, please tell her what the issue is. They say you have a bad attitude. So I asked my daughter, "What do you understand what bad attitude means?" She says no. Number one. So number two, I now said to the teacher, please explain what you mean. He says when she's coming from the hostel, she looks down, and when the teacher passes, she doesn't greet. Okay? Another teacher says that when she's in class, her mind drifts. And so when they ask her a question and she comes back into class, right, in her mind, she says she doesn't know. So I asked my daughter, what's going on? My daughter is very shy. So when she's coming from the hostel, that's what she does, just to avoid engagement. In class, she hasn't acclimatized yet. She drifts. She's thinking about home. She's missing home. And then she drifts out of class. And then when she comes back, you ask her a question. And because she's mentally and psychologically not there,
in the class,
she can't answer the question. She
You're giving her the wrong label.
So I said to my daughter, let's ask the teachers, what do you want? You want her to engage when she's coming from the hostel, greet her teachers. Say, have you heard now? Say, yeah, so you two start greeting. In class, right, you cannot really learn when you drift. So, teacher, if you see her drifting, bring her back. If you catch yourself drifting, bring yourself back. And we address the attitude issue. It wasn't really an attitude.
Yeah.
It was just a coping mechanism, or a child that did not know how to deal with a change of environment. And so you are asking the question: where do you draw the line? It is when you know your child, right? You know that what they are complaining about doesn't align. Then you go and investigate.
Yes.
And then you call all parties, and then you get to the root of it.
Yeah.
If the child deserves to be disciplined, discipline. If the child does not deserve to be disciplined, let your child know that you've got their back. But if they are misbehaving, let them know that, you will chop discipline.
So, I know we sort of drifted from the Yahoo Plus thing, but I just wanted to add a little. A lot of the times what we're seeing a lot more of like a dissonance between how teachers are teaching and how we're parenting is that what I see, practical example, we have more parents using maybe words instead and other forms of punishment, and then you send them to a typical Nigerian school where the teacher believes it's with very strong abusive words or hitting a child. And when you say you do not like that method, you're immediately termed a bad parent, and that's why your child is misbehaving. So you see parents that come and, to intervene, they're not seeing it as a parent saying, there's a different way we can go about this. You're seeing it as a parent who does not want their children to be corrected. And then, the thing about Nigerian society is that we believe if you spare the rod, you spare the child. So you're not being a good parent at all. The question now will be, what will be the best balance? Would you take your child out of a school that does not align with your beliefs? How many schools will you take your child out of? Do you take them to another country? Can you afford to do that? So those are the things, that's now on the parenting thing. But the Yahoo Plus that we're talking about, I don't care whether it's Yahoo Plus. For me, any activity that involves you taking advantage of someone,
causing them pain.
However, whether in the physical, mental, or spiritual, you're all in the same bracket, Yahoo or Yahoo Plus. In fact, I personally, I do not even like to make that demarcation, not to make any group feel where I'm less of a problem than the other. You're all the same. You start from somewhere, you end up somewhere, So concerning this man that is talking about his child and what he should do, really, I hope that Nigerians, we don't just pay lip service, because we're very good at giving advice. Here, everybody will get up under the comments, I'm sure. It's a bad thing, but what are you doing outside your comments and outside your advice to show that, that you believe in the advice that you're giving? And that's why I like to go back to what I said in the beginning. Many of us are in communities and we're living within societies where what we believe is not popular, maybe right, but it's not popular. And where do people like that find their community? Where do they get answers?
Thank you very much for that, because we have that happening even on social media.
Yeah.
People say things even against Nigeria. Even news stations, their number one marketing strategy is to demarket Nigeria, because that's how numbers come to you. It's your only marketing tool. It's just to continue to insult Nigerians, insult who we are. Everything is not working. The nation is bad. People will come to you. But those who believe, their voices are drowned. We can't find a voice. So it goes back to society, moral values. Those who actually have strong moral values, our voices are drowned. We are like, we're no more popular.
Yeah. And it's a shame. Because it seems like the truth is being consumed by lies. It seems like evil is winning over
good.
They say that greater evil is done when good men stand aside and watch evil being perpetrated.
Silence is consent.
It is important that we begin to readdress the critical issues. Nigeria is where it is today because of us. I say to people, there is no geography. Nigeria is you and me. So when you point fingers, really and truly, what are you saying? That you are the one that is corrupt. And there's a lot more corruption in the private sector than in government.
Even in the public. Are you serious?
Oh, yes.
That's where we should start calling.
Are you serious?
What's Yahoo? Corruption.
Yes.
And they're not in government.
But Moraya asked something earlier.
Deals, right? People deals. What is it?
Deals.
Corruption.
Yes.
Let me add something to the issue Miriam raised, and I'll ask you a direct question. So the first is, we now have to take it upon ourselves to begin to redefine our community. This is no longer a time where you just are thrown into a place and you do not choose your friends. You do not choose the people you want to relate with. You do not choose the people you want to expose your children with. You must be intentional. And you can, because of your kind of values, you can spot out people who share the same values and build an intentional relationship with them so that your children in growing up have a community of like minds. That's what we're now advocating. And that will now mean that the people who share these same values are together. The people who do the other values are, together. And we can now begin to have conversations to see how we can get everybody to do what is right. But you must protect your immediate environment, because each immediate environment is what makes up the society at large. That's one. You have a call?
I have a caller holding. Abiodun from Alagbado.
Oh, Alagbado.
Hello, Abiodun, you're live.
A former area.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
Well, my own contribution is very simple. You see, most people have grown up, most families have grown up through various means that anybody do not know how they grew. You see, some children are noticed for overbearing, and parents will not work. Do you know that some parents celebrate their children who are in this Yahoo business?
Yes, they do.
I have a family friend at the Lupeju area who invited me one day to come and see the car a 23-year-old boy bought. And I asked, what business are you on? He said, and the mother said, he's doing Yahoo. Don't you see how paying that Yahoo is? I never dreamt I would ride the car at this age. So most of them, either Yahoo or Yahoo Plus or Yahoo Plus Plus Plus, are the encouragement of the parents. Become the basis upon which those children grew. Okay, the man that said he should get chicken. Don't believe him so much. I don't know whether you stage broadcast that. Because if they are eating the chicken once and ate the chicken twice, and he knows that, okay, maybe the salary of the girl is no more than 100 plus or whatever, at least. And the thing was so sweet. How come that it is the third or fourth time that he's asking, where is this money from? I am sure that by the time he noticed those things on his table, he knew that there is a wind of change in the house.
Thank you, Mr. Boyado. You know, what Mr. Boyado said really got me. I'll come to you, because I know that the woman said it. He's doing Yahoo. Like, it's a career.
Yes,
It's
turned it to.
That's
not even something you do on a hush-hush. It's now like...
Yes.
That's what I was going to say, that we've given it a label that makes it easy to be acceptable. There's nothing like Yahoo Yahoo. Yahoo Yahoo is internet fraudster. Yahoo Plus is ritual killer. Full stop. If we call it what it is, that way is there's no... my child is doing internet frauds. My son is an internet fraudster. Don't say my son is a Yahoo Yahoo, because your son is a scammer. So my son is a scammer. Take it with your full chest and say it like that boldly. Or I suspect that this boy is doing ritual killings. Not say Yahoo Plus, because by the time we call it what it is, we will be able to get people to see the gravity of what they are doing.
Yeah. So let me ask.
It's quite interesting. Sorry.
Go ahead.
You know that. We have left the mother out.
She's not that careless.
So the mother knew.
Obviously.
And has been collecting chicken.
Yes.
What has the mother been collecting? Apart from the chicken. Say the chicken is delivery for Papa.
Yes.
Waiting mama don't collect. You know, and that is also very, very instructive for us. You know, that when we are married, it's a partnership. That one person is not working against the other, because a house that is divided against itself can never stand. So you're holding this set of values. Your wife is holding a different set of values.
That's why the man said he was blindfolded.
With the chicken.
You have to wrap up on this topic. Well, let me let you jump in.
Yes. So I would like us to help these young people. So I see some of them who are into this sort of things, and with my conversations with them, you realize that these people are intelligent. And I'm wondering, why don't you channel that intelligence into creating something? So how do we help them with a shift in mindset? Because to sit on a laptop and lie to somebody, cooking up also, you can create movies from those stories that you cook up to get what you want. Now, how do we help them to understand that they can channel this energy into doing something legal and productive, and also make money? Their counterparts in Obodo Ibo are making money coding, and they are making thousands of dollars. They are buying the cars that these people want to buy, doing legal things. How do we just help them understand where that energy should be channeled into?
All right. Thank you very much for that question, because that helps us solve the situation. First of all, we have funkified it, right? And society has accepted it, and they are being celebrated. When these guys do parties, man, you need to see how they throw down. So, you know, in their own circles, right, they're cool. And, you know, anything that is celebrated, people would always gravitate towards it. Right? So we call it the principle of leverage, gain or pain. Impunity is at the heart of this matter. Until something is done and pain is introduced. If you are a ritual killer, you are a killer. There are laws that speak to murder.
Yeah. So imagine he was beheaded.
You know, they were just, but nothing will happen. If I mean, there are capital laws.
Yes.
You know, and if you're a fraudster, and the full brunt of the law is brought down against you, by the time they jail for 20, 30, 40 years. This one, this
the
one,
result.
this one, this one, right? They will stop. That's on the one end. On the other end, you know, if you go to America, they call them ethical hackers. The government employs them. You know, there's an industry where these guys are so smart. Let the federal government begin to engage them. Let's set up a warehouse where, you know, we're outsourcing these geniuses and we are paying them correct. Where, you know, they are ethical hackers, people that want to do Yahoo Yahoo. These ones are stopping them from Yahooing.
Exactly.
And they are catching them and they are aborting their missions. When it's no longer lucrative,
they will leave it.
They will leave it.
It's something else.
They will face something else. The third thing is, you know, these guys really need to understand that they are actually geniuses.
Yeah.
They're actually hardworking, right?
They have the wrong thing there.
But they're just doing the wrong things. And the problem is really association. If you are associating with the right people, you will channel that skill in the right places.
Yeah.
So the question is, who are you associating with? Do that audit. This boy that is advising me to go and do this thing, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I need to change that friendship because these guys roll together.
We got a comment here. Someone says, I remember a colleague of mine told me ahead of time that she will be coming to work as she's attending a friend's son's party. The son is a Yahoo boy and he was having a housewarming prayer. And he was having housewarming prayers. That is our society.
Yeah.
I can't come to
So-
work because I'm going for a Yahoo boy's housewarming
And you know he's a
prayers.
Yahoo boy. They are praying. They
Praying.
pray.
They pray for
no,
it
no, no.
too.
They pray for it.
for their customers
we have
before.
some
And there are
comments.
pastors that pray for them. There are pastors.
Let's take a few comments.
Yes. People were pointing out the woman that the man that these parents will cry for future. They say because such wealth dwindles away and they will never do anything meaningful with such monies because they did not work hard for it. Another person said, how many parents are willing to cooperate with authorities to apprehend their children involved in internet fraud? Talk is cheaper. These Yahoo boys are just lazy and not exposed. I don't think so. We already said that it is not exposed. They are not lazy because it takes a whole lot. They send thousands of emails before they get one person to fall. How many people?
These people any kind of virtue? I beg. Let me tell you about these geniuses that we like to talk about. Geniuses. The ones that are even happening in Nigeria, when I watch a particular documentary, the Nigerian Yahoo boys are the laziest. They use them for trade. The European Yahoo ones will do the work and use us as a channel to be channeling money, and then they get their cut. So stop giving them this different grades. Auntie, stop giving these Yahoo people any kind of virtue. It's laziness. Go to school, read your book, and save, our community. What is this Yahoo thing? Where are you learning it from? What are you saying?
They are groups,
and they are not even doing anything. It's not like, oh, I got this money and this is what I've done with it. I've saved the world. No, it's to buy house, it's to spend. Recently, there was this, Recently, there was this housewife of Atlanta lady that got married to a Nigerian man. And we're so excited about it because she was showcasing our Nigerian culture. We just heard that he's a scammer and a fraudster. Do you understand? And then tomorrow someone will be explaining him as a genius. As far as I'm concerned, you're just a scammer and a criminal. And the American, the American government has caught you. Stop giving them those. Yes, quickly, she divorced him. Now, if it was a Nigerian wife,
go stay there.
Would you divorce him?
That's
Did he not chop the money?
No, but she chopped the money, but she did not know what was it officially. No, because officially, this particular guy, this is all allegations though, but officially he is into oil and gas. So she married a man into oil and gas, then found out that there were other ways. But the thing is, based on her values, she stepped out of that relationship. In many Nigerian homes, they will sit down there and be praying that the man is able to escape whatever allegation is because the money is more important than the values. When we swap it and put more on values, that money would
a
go
bricklayer
somewhere.
from morning to night is hardworking. Carrying that brick up and down, that's a hardworking person. Stop telling people sitting down in front of one computer and destroying lives hardworking. I don't like to hear that.
Okay, can I take this comment? Say Yahoo skills are at the top end of salesman skill. Every Yahoo boy naturally is a good salesman, so that can be challenged. So I came from a town where when it started, I don't want to mention the town, my place. It started from there. Wow. Yes, it started from there. And I was opportune to see how some of them were working. So that's why I will not sit here and say they are not hardworking. They are hardworking. They are just channeling the energy into the wrong things. I was opportune to see how they were, engaging with their clients. Some of these people don't sleep. Me, I don't work all night. These people work all night. So it's just channeling it in the wrong place. And that's why, like your example or your idea, where government can use them. If they don't have anything to be used, government will not pick them. And we're saying you can channel them to be more productive, to help stop some of these things because they actually have it. So it's like good and bad. You have the same gifts, right? What you want to do with your gifts is now your choice to either use it for good or use it for bad. But to say that the gift is not there and you are able to get somebody to pay you over and over and over.
It's not God that placed it on you. It's not a gift. You go and learn it knowing it's a crime.
But they get skills. There are some people who don't have natural, like when we talk about the entertainment, for instance, there are some people who are not natural. They are not naturals in certain things, but they choose to learn this and they learn it and they become good at it and then they grow into it. So you will not despise their skill because of what they are using the skill for. They have learned it and they are good.
I despise the skill.
And leave it.
I despise this skill because they really I despise this skill particularly because you are learning the skill because you know that you're about to victimize someone.
Yeah.
That is why you learned it.
So you acknowledge the skill.
It is a skill. I'm not calling it. Yes, of course it's a skill. Yes, but I'm saying that it's not a gift.
Yes.
You know, she has said it's a gift. It's not a gift.
No,
you learned it.
You
destroy someone's life.
Let me balance it.
And then I don't like to call it hardworking. Please, the catalyst, help me.
Let me
spirit
balance
just cannot accept us giving virtue to things like this.
Let me balance this, right? A gift is a natural endowment.
Yes.
So the ability to analyze is a gift. The ability to be creative is a gift. Whatever, and gifts are amoral. They are neither good nor bad. It's the intention that, is the problem.
Okay.
So money is also the same thing, right? Money is amoral. It can be amplified for good or bad based on the intention of the user, right? So it's a skill. And so, if you really, really study, the work that goes into what these guys do, right? They work all night. They nurture a target for months. They nurture. They groom a target for months. Nurturing and grooming to attack is wrong. We're saying that
nurturing and grooming can be
for you to be a great salesman,
you need to nurture and
that's
groom.
the skill you need. You need to be able to nurture, find a target, and sell a product to him. Understanding, his language, understanding his desires, understanding his needs and his pain points, and being able to speak his language. That's what we are speaking to. And that's why it will be, she asked me a question, how can we turn them around? How can we convert them? When we begin to point finger and say you are a thief, then we have judged. And we will not be able to switch them, right? So it is important for us to acknowledge that this exists.
There's a skill.
It's important for us to acknowledge that there's a skill. It's also important for us to acknowledge that they can use this skill for good.
Yes.
Right? And they can even earn more, have more prestige. But they have to change their community and their environments. They really do have to change who they roll with.
I get it. But
you just don't want to acknowledge
them.
I
can't, no. You still haven't answered why I feel so repulsed.
I think it's your personal values.
Just recently and before now, a boy in the UK killed himself because of activities like this. Nigerian boys on the internet in Nigeria threatening and blackmailing children continents away. Another American boy has died. Nigerian boys on the phone doing things. And then you tell me they're hardworking. They have a gift. They are nurturing. They are criminals.
Yeah,
they are murderers. They're destroying lives.
We agree with you.
I don't know.
We agree with you. We agree with you.
They're criminals with a brain. How can we change that brain to doing something? That's what we're saying.
I remember there was an article I read years ago. I think it was in the US. Something about there's some other. I can't remember what kind of criminal was in the cell. They had to go up. Was it a movie? They had to. The FBI had to go meet him in prison to help them solve certain, because they didn't understand. So it goes both ways. But I really want us to talk about the next topic, but we've already finished. Let's take a few comments, because I don't think we have any more time.
Let's talk about the next topic.
Let's move on to that topic. So, in a nutshell, this one, obviously, we are all against Yahoo, and we're saying call it what it is. Parents are also they're complicit in this. You know, with their children are a reflection of also, if your child is doing Yahoo, check yourself. What have you seen? What kind of behaviors have you seen? Have you exuded for your child to think that, yes, it's okay for me to do certain things? So,
and if your child is doing it, there are options they can deploy that skill to that will be legitimate. Yeah. So show them that you can do this better.
So we only have about 10 minutes, but this is our darling minister, Dr. Uju Kennedy, was saying some important things to women, which I like to tell. So a lot of people are there. Yabbing taking her for, they're dragging her, but we have to know. But ladies of your view, we are very decent women, so there's a way we take things. So we're not yabba, but we'll try to help, elaborate better. Okay, so she was speaking at a conference organized by the Rule of Law Anti-Corruption, RULAC Phase 2 program, where she said that she was speaking to women. She said, I'm equally begging my women not to look for trouble, not even at home. Maintain peace in your home, because if a home is peaceful, the women, they have 80% to contribute to that. If you need peace, you can achieve it. Keep your mouth shut. Talking about back does not yield fruit. Rather, it leads to death and destruction. It is upbringing bad children for society. Wow. Keep your mouth shut. It does not make you a fool, but a wise woman. When the man is shouting and saying all sorts of things, act like a fool and keep your mouth shut.
It's okay. In 2024. In 2024.
It doesn't matter now. God is saying yesterday, today, and forever.
I believe there is wisdom in what she said. To a group of people. I just believe that we shouldn't have that as a message from the Minister of Women Affairs to the Nigerian women from that place of authority, because she's validating and she's supporting men that will be resorting to violence and maltreating their wives based on what she said. Can't you see what a Minister of Women Affairs, a Home Minister of Nigeria is saying, and you are talking? So I believe that while there is, those are things that you tell your daughter or tell your friend or your mentees in the corner, but not what you will stand as a minister, because your office is not just about you and your personal opinion. Your office reflects on every woman in Nigeria.
What if she has interfaced lots of women in that her circle and are having that similar issue where they're having problems? So she's saying it from part of experience. Let me take this call and I'll come to you. Ola from Kaduna, thanks for calling. You're live.
Good morning, Morayo.
Good morning.
Yes, I am calling from Kaduna, and as we talk about this topic this morning, it touches my mind in the way. Today I live in the north, but I used to live in Lagos, particularly in Mushin. You know, in Mushin, out of every 10 boys, when I was growing up, out of every 10 boys, like 7 are in CIA. Now, I know this family that I live, and it's really touching me, this thing that you are talking about. The man is a deeper life member. All his children were Christians, because when I joined them to live with them, that I became a born-again Christian. But all of them, all the children, all of them graduated, they could not find jobs. Even the females that got married, at the end of the day, the husband came and was living with the father. The only one who made it was the last one who went into Yahoo. And today, it's all over the place. But the father would not collect a dime from him. Now, what's training me right now is, there was a time the man was diagnosed of prostate cancer. And he said he would not take a dime from that guy. The man is late now. Because all the rest of the children couldn't do. Our government could also put some things in place so that people, when people are old, they cannot access health care, they cannot access social welfare, and then the woman is 60 years old, the man is 75. He is not able to access all of these things, and he has a Yahoo boy who is the only one who has money. And we are saying he shouldn't. So you see, the thing is somehow.
There's Ilera Eco for that, but yeah, that we have that as an insurance for. He was saying that the reason why that guy felt he needed the Yahoo boy was because of his health situation. But there's insurance, just that Nigerians don't know about it.
Oh, yeah.
But we're talking about this minister. What are your thoughts on it? Who would like to jump in? I know somebody has said something.
Yeah, the minister that I
Yes.
spoke about.
So there was a story I heard growing up when this particular lady was having issues with her marriage, and so she went to meet a native doctor who now told her, gave her a calabash and put something in the calabash and said, anytime your husband is shouting, you get into an argument and he's talking, don't say anything, just lift the calabash and blow into it, and everything will subside. So she went back, she did it for a few weeks, and she came back, she was thanking the native doctor. Hey, it worked, oh. You know, we've not been fighting. Once it starts, I'll just pick my calabash quietly, I'll just blow into it, and I'll keep it. And the native doctor said, I actually did not add anything into that calabash. I realized your problem when you came to report, and that was because you were not allowing him to express himself, and you were challenging him. So as you blew the calabash and kept quiet, did the matter not resolve itself? I personally respect myself, and I know that, and I want my husband to respect me. However, I've realized that sometimes when tempers are flying, when the conversation is heated, I know when to keep quiet. It doesn't mean that I have lost my right of being a human being or being respected in that relationship. It just means that I understand when it's now the ego that is talking. And if his ego is talking and my ego is fighting, there can never be peace in that relationship. So what I do is to keep quiet and take myself out till we are calmer in, later on to now resolve the situation. And it has worked for me for over 22 years. So I understand where she's coming from. Probably she did not...
The manner in which she said it.
Maybe the manner in which she said it. But can we take the information and leave the messenger and find a way to apply that information to suit ourselves so that we're not constant? So there was a relation of mine that came to the house sometime with the husband to spend time. And any small argument, they are throwing words at each other. And I was shocked. I was like, this girl is so young for this kind of thing. They are throwing words. It was so shocking to me. I had to call her later and said, I know that you're very vocal and you want to quickly speak and all of that. But when you notice that in that conversation, his voice, the tone of his voice is already changing, can you try just keeping quiet for a bit and see how it works for you? Okay. So I agree with her.
I like you guys to jump in here because modern women will tell you, I want to express myself.
Yeah, so, I agree with that side of the conversation. It's not even about just the woman. A man, too, if he finds himself in that situation, he can back down too, until tempers are calm. But, she said something about that this is what causes physical... You can get injured or killed, and that's where, for me, I think the uproar is about the problem, because it reminds me of people who are being raped, and then we say, "What were you wearing?" We now take the blame away from the perpetrator and put it on the victim, because she argued. That was why I hit her on her head with a sharp object and killed her. If she hadn't argued, no, you killed her because you're a killer, because you're a murderer. A killer, you find a way, that's the way you handle any sort of situation. If you were not a murderer, a killer, if you were not physically, aggressive, that is not how you handle someone that's challenging you when you're arguing. So the problem now is to talk to men or women who are physical that way, who are violent. You cannot address issues by being violent, is what I would prefer to hear. You will find yourself in tough situations. Do not resort to violence to solve it, because it never solves anything. But to tell a woman to shut up because of that, for me, I feel if what I would want her to say is that if you find that you're with a man who resorts to violence, please leave that place, because it cannot end well for you. Today may be because you shouted. Tomorrow may be because you just breathe a certain way and he did not like the way you breathe, So that's my own problem with it.
I think there's a need for us to balance this conversation. One of the things I didn't like from the statements, I don't know whether it was exaggerated, the use of words, and media.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
One, that's very subservient. Number two, you can be killed. I think that's extreme.
Yeah.
Also, she's a minister. You know, like she said, it's important for us to know that we set examples and we set the tempo. Now, I'm sure she spoke to a certain group of people and there was a context.
That's also important.
So they may be quoting her out of context. However, right, in every relationship, there's a concept of mutual respect, mutual honor, and mutual dignity. You know, and this matter of the woman keeping quiet is expecting the woman to be subservient, submissive, which is the story that we have heard for so long. What about the man that is supposed to be mutually submissive? So in that same scripture that says, wives, submit to your own husband, it says, husbands, love your wives like Christ loved the church and gave his life.
I have to pause you because something came to mind. And I wish we had discussed this thing even much earlier. Could it be a language problem? Because people are thinking in their cultural, natural way. Because I'm thinking in Yoruba, there's a way you say something in Yoruba. There's a way you say it where translating it to English means totally different things. So in her, she's thinking as an Igbo woman, Nigerian woman, say, okay, listen, you better keep your mouth shut. You know, whatever, you know. But she's saying it in English. So there's a way. So she's thinking it, but the English version just has a totally different version. So could that be a problem in this message?
Yes, it could be because I've addressed it. The context, the language that was used, and the fact that media may just want to just sensationalize it. You know, so that's one thing. You know, however, you know, whether it's language or it's not language, still, how do relationships need to run? We have to love each other. We have to respect each other. We have to honor each other. We have to dignify each other. So if I, the man, right, I'm speaking and my wife is the one that is emotional in that moment, calm down.
Yeah.
Just calm down because we can't solve the problem. We need to ask ourselves a very critical question when we are going into a conversation. What is the desired outcome? What do I want to achieve by going into this conversation? Nothing will be achieved when both of you, right, are raising your voices.
Sure.
When both of you are cantankerous towards each other. When both of you are not listening to each other. When you are not allowing each other to speak, you can never resolve any issue. So whether you spend 1 hour trying to do that is wasted. You've just wasted 1 hour of your life. So always ask yourself, you know, both of you agree. At the end of this conversation, what is our desired outcome, right? And when one person is vying off, you never did, you are this, you are this. Calm down, sweetheart. Calm down. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's go back to the issues. Let's address the issues.
Okay. Let's take a few comments on social media. I know we have quite a few comments from the previous topic, but we also have some here. So I have from Mr. Tijani. He always sends us messages. So he said he was talking about the previous topic we mentioned. He said the construction industry is suffering from the dearth of artisans and craftsmen. And these young boys can channel their strength to be self-employed. He remembers, I remember Condoleezza Rice, former U.S. Secretary of State, made similar suggestions when she visited Nigeria sometimes. So the energies can be rechanneled. Any other comments before we wrap up on this topic?
On this particular one.
They're still responding to the other.
No, he said every man has a beast in them. For you not to bring out the beast in them. So I guess that's the
keeping quiet. Every woman has a beast in them.
We've seen women.
Not just to get beast.
Hell has no fury.
A woman that is scorned.
To get beast, but we've been trained.
Yes.
In fact, lioness is fiercer
than a lion.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's
tame
scientifically.
Me too.
So somebody said that this is partly why some of the most powerful groups of women in the world and the most feminine when it comes to wealth, and like he's analyzing. It's not a favorable comment to minister. I think that we should leave those ones off.
We have to. Unfortunately, that's all we can take. I wish we had started this topic earlier because there are so many angles.
That language thing you're talking about affects everything.
It's deep.
Many things.
It's part of our problem here.
Should we not speak vernacular?
No. I think that's because there are a group of people that I feel they are by the way they talk. Let me just, it's not even I feel. Niger Delta, there is a force with which they talk.
We talk with strength.
Yes, and in most cases it can come across as being rude, being unruly, but that being aggressive. But that's like the way they express themselves.
It's not even just Niger Delta. It's outside Nigeria. Every other African thinks that why do Nigerians always fight when they're shouting? We're always shouting. We're always, So it has become our natural order. We actually need to step back and ask ourselves, do we actually need to be that aggressive?
Although I always say it's Lagos people. Where we come from, we don't shout.
I've shared this story a trillion times. When I first went to the US, my brother-in-law's wife, anytime I go there, I'll be talking to her, and there's all of the bread in the fridge. I'm like,
you shout. Remember YK told us?
I always shout. I don't have to shout. I'm right in front of you.
YK also told us that they called the police on them because they were gisting. They thought there was a fight. They're like, no, we're just
That's all we can take on today's show. Thank you so much, Larry. It's always a pleasure having you. Okay, that's all we can take. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.